were born to win.
Hi, Agata. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good. Thank you so much, Anna, for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's dive into the questions because I think people really want to know your point of view and not so much mine. So let's dive into those. First of all, do you think you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure, definitely. Hi, everyone. Welcome. So my name is Agata and I'm a software engineer at Snyk. So Snyk is a security company for cloud native based applications, and we help you to secure them, you as the developer. So I've been here for about a year or a little bit more than a year. Time really flies. It feels like in Snyk months or Snyk time, it feels like 25,000 years. So I'm a software engineer. I'm in a container group. So we do all things container, and it's a really, really, really fun job.
Awesome. It's really great to have you here. And now it's registered that I have to pronounce it Snyk. So I won't get that one wrong again.
Yes, there is some YouTube videos that explain why and how, and we still argue about this in the company, and we still laugh about this every all hands that we have, which is like a company-wide yearly annual meeting. So it's definitely a thing.
Good to know that it's not just me.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you said you're a software engineer, which is pretty cool. And when did you first become interested in technology and security? So you're a software engineer in a security company. So what sparked this interest?
Yeah, so I think this started really, really early for me with my dad when I was a kid. So my parents were divorced, and every week when we were kids with my sister, we would go to my dad's, and he, from like early days, he would, and that was a long time ago, believe me, he would have a computer, and we would go there, and that was times of like Norton Commander and StarCraft, and we were so young with my sister, but we loved it so much, and I think I loved it a little bit more than she did, and just got really into it. So first got into gaming with dad. It was great, and then got into just doing some things on the computer, and like typing in things in the computer rather than on a piece of paper. And then I got one as a present. And then when I was still in high school, I think I did a first website for my uncle who was selling cookies and biscuits imported from somewhere. Oh, and that was, I think that is just gone like that. And I've always liked it. And I think I just got really interested because of that, because of my dad. But also, on the other hand, I was such a rebel when I was younger, and I probably still am a little bit, but I did everything that people said I couldn't do, or, girls couldn't do, or just gone completely against the grain. And I think that was, when I thought about it, I think that was played a big part in my younger life as well. So that's why engineering, I think.
That's very promising, because I have two kids and I'm constantly trying to like get them interested in like coding and stuff. And my 6-year-old, who's a girl, she's really interested in it, and I'm just hoping that one day, I don't want to push her towards anything, but I want her to be open to different opportunities and not just
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, it's so amazing. And I think you're doing so well, because I think it's important for girls and for women to understand that this is something that we can do as well as boys, probably better. And it's, so I think, I kind of had that because my dad really encouraged me, and I had the other part of that equation as well, where like at school or other places, I was not encouraged. It was opposite from encouragement. But it was really important to have my dad kind of supporting me then, and my mom supporting me later in my career as well. So it's a really good thing that what you're doing.
That's so awesome. And so you've already kind of described your way towards your first job in tech. But how did you land your very first tech job? What was it and how did you land it?
Oh my God. Yeah. So this is you're taking me back so long ago. It's really awesome to think about it again. So I studied, the major that I've chosen in the end was control engineering and robotics. And it was so fun. But again, I definitely kind of experienced a little bit like less than encouraging. Not everyone was super supportive of kind of me studying that, being in that degree. And when I finished, most of the people were though, so it was a really great journey. And when I finished, I think because of that reason, I think I was very insecure in that area. So I was kind of scared to get like a proper engineering job. And lucky unlucky, maybe, who knows, one of my really good friends who was a computer science major, she got a job in this German startup which was doing like a price comparison situation. At that time it was very popular, price comparison engines. And there was an opening in her team. She let me know. I interviewed and got the job. So I kind of went into computer science, into programming, from kind of control engineering and robotics. So that was not thought through at all. That was the first job. I had no idea what was happening. It was my best friend. She had a job. It was chilled. It was fun. It was good. She was learning a lot. So I didn't really think much of it. It ended up being a really, really great experience. And we ended up being acquired by Microsoft. So it really opened a lot of doors and showed completely different worlds, from a little startup to a big corporation. Being really young, that was a really, really interesting experience. But it was a perfect first job. Had I had different opportunities, sometimes I wonder what would have done, like gone more into the engineering side. But now I'm super happy that what I became is a software engineer. I'm super happy about that. I'm so chuffed.
Yeah, they do say that things happen for a reason, don't they?
Exactly. So there was definitely a reason for that.
That's really great to hear that you had such a great experience and that you're still here in the tech community with us. Because as we know, there aren't that many role models to look up to when it comes to women. And I was just wondering if you had any role models before, whether they be women or men or whoever they may be, right?
Yeah, definitely. So now preparing for the conference, also, I've been thinking about it quite a lot. I've never really had like during my early school days and then high school days, I was very kind of maths and physics orientated in high school, and then through the uni. And I really never had any kind of in the industry or engineering or / university female role models, which is very, very sad. So I think that, so we definitely can see that is changing massively. That was 15 years ago, but there is still a lot of place for improvement. But I have to say that I did have someone who I still look up to, and that is my mom. And we did talk about this last week, and we all cried and had like a big a FaceTime with my sister as well, and talked about this. That is, my mom was always a big supporter of my career, and she was always a big role model growing up, because she was a single mom. And it was quite controversial choice that she made, being it was post-communist Poland. I'm Polish, and she was a single mom. She chose her career. She didn't want to be a housewife, and so she made this choice that she wanted to do something for herself. And she has an amazing career, and it was tough at times, definitely for us and for her as well. But she raised us to be really, really strong women. And until today, I'm so grateful for that. And I really look up to her. Until today, she's a very ambitious and strong woman. And she showed us that this is how we can live our lives, and we can do whatever we want.
That's truly beautiful. And it just like feels so close to my heart. That's really nice. You left me speechless.
That's what we did. We all I told my mom, I'm gonna have to talk about you. And she was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Do I cry now? And or do and we had this big chat that how important it is to have a female role model when you're a female, when you're a little kid and throughout your life and when you grow up. And I never really appreciated that before, but I do really appreciate it today.
Yeah. For me, it's very important to be where I am today, just to be a role model to my kids and show them that women can also have careers and develop them.
100%.
So that's really cute. That's really cool. I love it. And hopefully you'll send this video to your mum later on.
Yeah, definitely. She will have to watch it.
Awesome. And well, you've kind of mentioned that both your mum and your dad were bigger supporters in your career, and you've just made a lot of emphasis on your mum, but was there anyone else who supported you in your career?
Yeah, so my family was generally very supportive as well. I had a granddad who also, so it's interesting. My mom, I think she always wanted the things for us that she couldn't have herself, and the same for my granddad. You know, being he was born in during war and the Second World War, and then they didn't have a lot, and both of my grandparents, they had quite a tough life, and they were always cheering for us, so especially my granddad, he was always cheering for us as well, everything we would do, and he was so happy that I've gone into engineering and really enjoyed what I do. But then also throughout the school, I think it's I was trying to think about it, and definitely like all of my friends always supported me as well, but like I never really had anyone from industry. It's more kind of these days, people like recently Alyssa Carson, who's the youngest, so she's gone, she's 19 years old, girl, woman. She's I think she's her major is astrobiology, I believe, and she's just gone through all the NASA tests as a first like really, really young woman. And so people like that really, really, really inspire me, and I feel so happy to see that, because when you look at them and you know, you think like we can do it all, and we always did, and it's really important to see that we can bridge that STEM gap.
Definitely. And you just mentioned a very valid point there. Like, we can do exactly the same, basically. There shouldn't be any differentiation there. And this 19-year-old woman, sorry, like you mentioned, having passed all of these tests, like, there should be a lot more noise about it than there is, right?
I think so. Because I just exactly, I do agree. I find it really frustrating sometimes that there isn't, and only in kind of like, I don't know, like you can say like geeky circles. I heard about her because I follow NASA on Twitter, and you know, they posted something. I was like, oh my God, it sounds amazing. But then I remember talking to my friends, and I was like, oh my God, this girl, she's doing this amazing thing, and they were like, oh, how do you know this from? Oh, from NASA, you know, Twitter or whatever. And they were like, oh my God, that's so nerdy or so geeky. And it's like, come on. I think like those type of information, I think it would be really great if it was so much more accessible just outside of those, you know, geeky circles you call them. I call them fun circles, but yeah.
They are fun. Totally.
So fun, the most fun.
Okay, so we're going to head back to your software engineer role at Snyk. Said it right. And what do you like most about your role?
This is such a hard question. This is such a hard question, because I think I could talk for hours about, you know, about where I came from and what I've done before. I think so. when I was looking for a job, the very recent time before I found this job in Snyk, I quit my previous job, and because I really wasn't passionate about what I was doing, and I felt I didn't feel this kind of like rocket power that you really want to feel when you're doing something. So I've decided to quit the industry, which was the finance industry before, and go back towards more towards engineering, kind of closer to engineering. And I was looking for job in a lot of bioengineering labs, and I was going that direction. But then Snyk appeared somewhere, and what really hit me was the community. And I interviewed with them, and the second thing that really hit me then was the culture. And I really think that this is super important for our growth and just the joy of life, I think, to be somewhere where you really belong. And I think this is Snyk for me. I feel like I really, really, really belong there. And I found my place. I found my place in a community. And it's just such a joy to come to work and hang out with those people, because it really feels like hanging out. Yes, we write code, but it's just so fun. We often do it together. And it's really feels very different when you connect to the cause. And I think this is the nicest thing about this job. But I have to say that it took quite a few years to kind of to find that and to gravitate towards that direction.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more. You have to be in the right company for you, because otherwise every day is going to be a horrible day because you have to work every day. So
yeah, exactly.
Make sure you're working in a place where you belong. And could you tell us a little bit about maybe what your typical day looks like in Snyk?
Sure, definitely. So there is so many different types of days, definitely. So I'll pick one. Yeah, I can pick today. So Mondays are crazy normally. So I start quite late. We have stand up quite late, around 10 o'clock, and this is when I start. And we update each other, talk about blockers, and I'm in a new team. We've just formed the team a couple of months ago, 3 months ago maybe, and we've just decided to have a slightly longer stand up. Because we really do appreciate that time when we can have a little bit of chatter in the morning as well. And it feels so good to just wake up and just have a little chat and, look at the pictures of other people's dogs and all that kind of stuff, and then only ease into stand up. After that, we normally have few Zooms throughout the day. Sometimes it's crazy and you have too many. Sometimes, like Fridays, they're relatively Zoom free, so you have some time to focus. And then we do some work, which is basically everything. We're very close to the feature. Let's say an engineer has a feature assigned to them. Maybe they lead the feature, maybe they work with someone else on that feature. So that kind of belongs to you from the very beginning. Even before it becomes a feature, you work with a product, which I value very much. I've never had it before in my other jobs, and it feels amazing to be a part of kind of that very initial decision-making process. And you go throughout the development and deliver it to the customer. So very often throughout the day, we also chat to the customers, which is super nice, very rewarding. Maybe they have a feature request, or maybe they have a problem. There is a bug that we kind of have to work on. So sometimes we really have to jump on it, and sometimes we have to prioritize it. We super often pair. I always, this is another thing about that job that is quite nice. I always was, for some reason, always was kind of scared of pairing with other people. And now this is just my daily life. It's just so nice. And we just, do you want to pair? Do you want to pair? This is how we work together. There is nothing better than working together on solving a complex problem. And I think it was a week ago that we had to crack some kind of dependency graph. So we were working on graph structures together. And had we not have the group to work together to be able to pair on it, I think it would have been a lot more difficult task to crack. So we work together quite a lot, and I always have then towards the later on a little bit more kind of focus time. But I think it really depends on people's days. We're quite flexible, so everyone finds the best time of the day when they can focus, and we're very aware of each other's habits, and we try to really be quite mindful about it. So that makes the work really easy, I have to admit. So this is our typical day.
That sounds like a dream job. Although I do agree with the pair programming does sound scary to me. So
it really does. So it really sounds intimidating if you don't do it a lot, I think. And then you realize that it's actually really helpful and really fun. And you're like, okay.
I can imagine, yeah.
And two brains become like two brains is so much more than two separate brains. Two brains together is just one super brain.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we're going to move away from work, and I'm going to ask you, what do you do in your free time? And that might be pre-pandemic, it might be something
Sure.
during the pandemic, or it might be something that you plan to do after the pandemic. So,
ooh, exciting. Okay. Oh my God. What do I plan to do after the pandemic?
If the pandemic ever ends.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. We have to be hopeful. So, oh my God, that's such a fun question. So I'm also a yoga teacher after work, which is a really big part of my life. And I think this is a big part of who I am, and also how I work at Snyk probably impacted that very much. And so normally I do teach in a studio as well, and as I teach yoga and meditation, we do a lot of pranayama, so a lot of breathing as well. But sadly, these days we don't teach in a studio, so that part has to wait. But I do practice a lot of yoga as well, and a lot of meditation. So everything at the moment is on Zoom. But this is as good. This is what we have now, so it's also good. And really helpful in stressful times at work, let's say, or any kind of aspect of life, really. Just getting through the pandemic, at least, that it's been really helpful as well, to kind of sit every day in the morning and do some breathing and do some stretches. And so definitely a big part of my life. And what's happening now, actually getting a puppy in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to have a little baby puppy in my house, and I'm very excited about it, but really overwhelmed as well. Hopefully that's going to go well. Taking a week off.
Oh my gosh.
Time for the puppy. I've been dreaming about this actually for a really, really, really long time, and it feels like a really good time to do that now. So this is going to be all my time off for the next 4 months. No.
Okay, I have two things to say about that. One, where do I sign up for the yoga classes? And two, I want puppy photos. So I'm going to be waiting for those two things from your side.
Definitely incoming. Yes. Careful what you wish for, though.
Oh, there can never be too many puppy photos.
No, I agree. No, never.
Okay, we're going to wrap up this session now, and with one question. And I would like to ask you, what advice would you give to women and girls who dream about a career in tech?
Sure, that's a really great question as well. So I think about this. What would be the advice that I would want to get receive when I was younger? Maybe even when I was at uni, I've already made that decision to go and do engineering, but it was really felt really overwhelming and intimidating, and all those men everywhere. I think the most important thing that I want to say is that we can do it all. As I said before, we can really do it all, and it's all for us. It doesn't matter that it seems like a dirty job, engineering, or something maybe that seems that it's too hard. Every problem is very possible to solve. You can the best way how we can deal with it, if it seems very overwhelming and very hard, you can break it down to smaller pieces. And I really learned that at Snyk, that there is nothing that you can't do. You can just break it down into smaller pieces. And it really applies to everything in life. So we can do anything. Anything is achievable. Yes, sometimes it requires a little bit of work, but what doesn't come with that cost? But everything is achievable. And I really, really think that all the limitations that there are there, we only set for ourselves. So we can get rid of that limitations, and there is a infinite number of possibilities in the world for us, and there is really nothing that we can't achieve with a little bit of work.
That's very inspirational, and I love the part about breaking it into bits, because many times I just look at my agenda for the week, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do this. So then I break it down to days and then hours, and it looks a bit better.
Take it one step at a time, and when you think of that one moment in time, on that one step, on that one little thing, it really doesn't seem so bad at all.
Yeah, it's really great advice. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here, and I can't wait to hear your talk at the event.
Yay, definitely. I hope it's going to be good. I've been preparing it, and I thought a lot about what I want to say, and I think it's going to be really fun.
I'm sure it is. Okay, well, have a great day, and we'll say goodbye to everyone else.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening.
I'm going to stop the recording.